Today we're talking about culture. Now, there are two definitions of culture I want to share with you from the dictionary, but then there's a third definition from somebody that one of us knows, and we're going to share that with you, and that is going to be the guide for this conversation. Now, the first definition of culture says the arts and other manifestations of human intellectual achievement regarded collectively. That's one definition. Another definition is the ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society. The ideas, customs, and social behavior of a particular people or society. Now, the question begs, where does this idea, customs, or social behavior originate from? And how long can that carry on? Which leads me to the definition, the third definition that Scott's going to share with us, that someone shared with him. And it's quite interesting. Do you agree or not? And then we'll dive into the conversation. Scott, what was this, definition that this person said to you about culture?
Welcome to your Voice Your Impact show, where authentic voices spark real change and bold conversations lead to lasting impact.
That's right. This is a space where we amplify ideas, celebrate stories, and challenge mindsets because every voice matters and every story has the power to transform.
Whether you're a dreamer, a doer, a change maker, or someone simply figuring it out, we are here for you. Each week, we bring inspiring guests, thought-provoking conversations, and powerful insights to help you own your voice and leave your impact.
Right. The definition of culture that I got to know about is, which is very interesting by the way, is that culture is pressure. Culture can be defined as pressure from dead people.
Quite interesting indeed. Pressure from dead people. Okay. Well, if you juxtapose that with the definition in the dictionary, I think it's saying that this culture, these ideas, customs, behavior that a people have decided to settle with. Sometimes it carries so long till it feels like it's irrelevant in our days. Something our fathers did 50 years ago, 100 years ago, 200 years ago, and they considered culture at the time is not culture in this time. Classic example is the mutilation of female genitals. For a very long time, people considered that a culture to say that this is how women are kept safe so that they don't become promiscuous. But was that really a safe culture? And so, yeah, I'm going to pass on the mic to Grace to tell me her own view on what culture is and if there is any culture in particular that makes our skin crawl.
Honestly, this topic is a beautiful one because I am someone that I would normally ask questions. And my questions are mainly to change the norm. And for a very long time, I like what you said about the female mutilation and how for a very long time it was some level of oppression. Just tell me, what if it was just a case of one person somewhere just looked at and said, I think we need to do this to stop this. And then it became a culture. And to buttress the definition from Scott, dead people, they gave us this law many years ago, and we are running away with it. And that is why I always probe whatever I catch myself doing. I will probe to find out the history. Now, the one that irritates me, and I'm not mincing words. Irritate is the exact word I want to use. Sagging. Where the hell did that come? When people wear trousers and the trouser is almost reaching, it has become a pop culture. It has become a culture of you got to belong to be in that space. And I'm like, do you know what? Sometimes when you're following a particular culture and the culture is looking stupid, question it. Honestly, it doesn't take anything away from you. Question the culture and see if you want to go with it. Now, I'm going to drop the mic after this particular one. You know the story around not sweeping at night, that if you should sweep at night, you're sending away your wealth for a very long time. Oh, you never heard it? You never saw? Oh, a major culture where I come from, and a lot of people, that when you sweep at night, you are sweeping away your wealth. That do not use broom at night. And a lot of people went away with that saying. A lot of people, even till modern day, some people still believe it, that no, don't sweep. They say if you sweep at night, your wealth will go. The real story behind that culture was shared. Was this man Enahoro, emotional intelligence guy? He shared the story. He said that back in the days they used to spend cowries, and that cowries can just so most times they will notice that when they sweep at night, they would wake up to find out that some of their cowries, they swept the cowries because no light at the time. So they now said, let them not be sweeping these cowries, or let them not sweep at night, so that when it is broad daylight, they'll be able to see very well, to know where their cowries are. And then they now stopped sweeping at night just because of that cow. So they will sweep in the morning. But many people ran away with it and said, they say, no, don't sweep, don't sweep at night, because you will not, your money will be going. I can imagine once a culture becomes a belief, it will drive everything that you do. And that's terrible.
I'm saying that is very interesting. Really sweeping. And even the one you mentioned about sagging, this was a culture that was picked up from prison. The prisoners, they don't have belts. And so naturally, they're depending on the uniform they gave them in the prison, it will sag. And so when these people maybe when they leave and they come back, it's already something that they are used to. So they brought the culture back and people just took it. And it's so annoying. Like, so people now overdo it. You will see somebody of 25 years old now having to buy the trousers of a size of a 15-year-old so that the trouser can start like honestly, like I can't get it and I don't want to get it. Then this one you talk about calories is very, very interesting. It reminds me of one I stumbled upon on TikTok about this woman frantically saying that, was it on TikTok or Instagram? I can't even remember. That if you cook porridge for your husband as a married woman and it does not have any protein on it, your marriage will scatter. I'm like, that one off me, because I'm like, really? And it was off and off in the comment section. People were like, oh, yes, so my mother told me this, and it's true. And people were like, oh, wow, really?
Hey there, cake lovers. Let's be honest. What's a celebration without a cake that's truly unforgettable? We're talking about that perfect cake. You know the one, right? Gorgeous on the outside, but the real magic is what's on the inside. We don't just bake here. We craft an experience. Just check out this batter. This is the secret to why our cakes are ridiculously moist and decadent every single time. Whether it's a big milestone, a cozy gathering, or just a random Tuesday, and hey, we don't judge. Our cakes are perfect for every single celebration.
Are you ready to bring the euphoria to your next event? Great news! The Sweetland of Wonder Cake experience is delivered right to your doorstep across the entire UAE. So, why don't you stop dreaming and start ordering? Give us a call now.
Very, very interesting. There's so many I've heard. I've heard about the salt. Like, if you're in the kitchen or something and salt pours on the floor, if you don't quickly wet it and clean it off, there will be trouble in the house. Like, something is going to happen and there will be fight in that house. I don't know where all of this come from. Like you said, we should be asking questions. We should be asking questions. So, Scott, what are your thoughts? Which one have you heard that made you laugh or made you go, wait, what?
Wow. You see, when it comes to the conversation of culture, I promise you there are so many things that, well, I'm glad genuinely that we have come to question many of them, and I've gotten to either eradicate them or improve on them. One of the ones that that is very interesting to me is the idea of, don't look at the mirror at night. If you can remember, like, bro, like, how many nowadays that we are doing skincare, how many times, if I want to do my night routine, how will I do my night routine if I don't look at the mirror? And to be fair, like, nowadays, everyone, even there are so many kinds of mirror, even now, like, everyone is looking at the mirror at night and nothing is happening, because it just brings the thought, and it's a good thing once again that it shows how much we have improved and grown as a race, the human race, as a whole, because majority of these things that our forefathers were doing. Imagine someone not sweeping their compound at night just because you believe you'll be sweeping money away, not knowing that it was not even correct. It was just an adoption for a certain period of time to avoid certain things. So that's one of the things. To be fair, it extends a little bit to religion, but that might be a little bit too so let me leave it at that.
So don't leave it like that. Yes, it is true. It can extend to religion. This is how we do things. And honestly, so it's, for me, it's like that in everything there has to be a balance, right? There has to be a balance, because it's like, okay, what's the balance here? There is the idea of, there is wisdom in what the elderly knows, because it is, for instance, the wisdom to protect the culture of respect, honor, community. It's in the bid to do that we now say bring back shame, for example. So there has to be a balance. Is to say that when a culture, like, we need to, maybe I feel like it should be a conversation to say we need to review this culture to see, at this time, is it still serving us, or do we need to upgrade? Just like you said, Scott, we have evolved as human beings. What gives 50 years ago might not necessarily give today. But I tell you that there are still some things that 50 years ago is still very much relevant today. One is that honor your parents, honor your elderly people. And another is community, which is something that is missing in today's world. While we were growing up, if you are in that community, if you live on a street, there are people on that street. Everyone knows everyone. Everyone is into everyone's business. Not in a very crazy way, but there's this, like, as a child, you know that any elderly person in that community has every right to correct you when they catch you doing something. As a matter of fact, when you're doing something bad and you spot any elder in your vicinity, you are the first person to go and hide. Why? Because they will come, they will chastise you, they will punish you there, and they will still report you to your parents, and your parents will continue the punishment. But what have we seen nowadays? Because that culture has been maybe questioned and renamed and bastardized and demonized, we see now that everyone is minding their business. So bad that when something bad is happening, rather than people clamoring or trying to get help for this person that is being hurt, everybody picks up their phone to be the first to post about it, to be the first to cover it, to be the first to say, this is what's happening. Nobody cares anymore. Do you see what I mean? So it's like there has to be a balance. Like, cultures are there for a reason. They are the accepted pattern of behavior in a certain area. But at the same time, is to know that should there be a lifespan to a particular culture? And this even speaks to business spaces too. the companies have cultures that they set up, like, okay, this is how we do things here. But every now and then they review these things. So that's why today we have inclusivity, we have inclusion. Inclusion was not a thing 50 years ago, 25 years ago, maybe, right? So this is why I'm saying, like, there should be a balance where we can look at some culture. Does it serve us now? If it does, can we make it better? Can we fine tune it? And if it doesn't, can we discard it and look for something that works for us?
Even apart from the whole thing, you can see someone come online on social media now to share a genuine problem. And people will go in the comment section to put comments that are completely opposite, but not just opposite, also completely ridiculous. Not because they don't know that it's wrong to put such comments, but because they just want to draw attention to themselves, and it just goes on and on. Like, how far does this really go?
Honestly, how far does it go? And I think we need to bring back sense into the things that we do. And, I will just play a little bit of advocacy here, especially, again, depending on where you are, right? From where we come from, it's like what's the word now? It's a result of what people have seen over time, where you try to help and you are the one that is trying to help that will become the culprits. And so I understand that as well, right? It's just that it's a sad reality. For example, there's an accident somewhere. Ideally, any human being in their right senses wants to help. But with the place we're coming from, things have gotten so bad that, for example, if you now carry that person to say, I want to help this person, you take the person to the first hospital. One, rejection. What's happen? Where be the accident? Bring police report. That thing is so annoying. Now you do that first, and let's say by the time you get to the third hospital, God forbid, this person passes on. Do you know that everybody will now leave this person that is a good Samaritan that helped that person? Will not feel like, where did you carry from? What is the person that helped that the police will now come and be questioning, be doing as if, so that's I feel like that's another reason people just kind of steer clear. But I don't think it's good reason enough, because it's dicey. It's dicey. We've seen it happen one too many times, where you try to help and then you are the one who becomes the bad person, who becomes the villain for trying to help. So everybody now is like, no, it is so bad now that if you ask for direction now, people are like, no, I don't know. They don't even want to hear it at all, because you ask for direction now. You want to help somebody who is asking for direction. At the end of the day, the person you are trying to help is robbing you. The person you're trying to help is hypnotizing you. Do you see? I almost fell into that hypnotism, whatever, one time. But I had a friend who fell into it, and she got back home. She took all her sister's jewelry, money, and gave it to those people. By the time she got back home, before her eye cleared, that thing, she suffered it because the sister, she suffered it for years to come. Do you see? So in that case now, people are scared. People are literally scared. Don't talk to strangers. Don't, like, the world has become so it's just what it is. And I don't know, as we bring this to a close, like, what do we think? How can we be more intentional about maintaining a culture that serves us, questioning the ones that don't, and being better people, or our brother's keeper again? It's a lot. As a person of faith, I know the answer, but generally speaking, it is difficult. What do you think, Scott?
Well, I think, in my own opinion, the first step we have to take is to become more aware, both individually and as a people, right? Because when we are aware of certain things or knowledgeable of certain things to some extent, we will see the required or necessary criteria or steps to take to resolve certain problems that so that this whole culture and behavioral patterns will not get passed on. For example, let me come in from the angle of the instance you cited, where about someone being in trouble by the roadside and you carry them to help, and then you eventually get into trouble. That's genuinely a very disturbing situation back where we come from. But at the same time, you see, it is not enough to use that as an excuse to not be of help when you see someone in need, right? Because, for example, if you're passing by and you see someone in need, you can be, what's the word now? You can actually call other people to join you to help them. At least, if it's not a single person, if it's an individual, no police will carry a whole community and throw in jail now, So, these kind of adjustments are what we need to make to be able to, such that help goes around, right? So that's what I think.
I agree with you. And I think so that means we need to start to have those conversations on, okay, these are the way to handle emergencies like that. Ensure that one or two people are around. I think, again, it's just going to take a lot of information, education to help people know that, okay, this is how, things should be done. And this is how we can help people in such situations. And I hope that, as we continue, we become more aware, like you said, become more aware of what's going on around you, more aware of the things that exist, and maybe dig deeper to know why they exist the way they exist, right? Because there's a lot of things that people just do, and it's just because that's how it's been done. No question. I will close with this story that most of us are familiar with, right? About the mom who always chops the head and the tail of her fish off. And the child asked the mom, like, why do you always chop the head of your fish off, the head and the tail off? He said, well, that's how my mother did it. Then the guy went to ask the grandmother, and the grandmother explained that, oh, back in the days, I had a very small saucepan, and so the whole fish cannot get into the saucepan. So I have to cut the head and the tail off so that that's what can get into the pan. And that's all. Nothing special about that tradition. That was just the coping mechanism for the time. But it wasn't questioned, and it's just passed on like that into generation. So let's be thoughtful enough to question what is, look at what is, and see what's serving us. How can we make it better? And if it's not serving us, how can we discard it to introduce what does serve us? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section on this video, or on our social media if you get any clips of this particular episode, to let us know what culture truly makes your skin crawl, or what culture has been passed down to you from generation to generation that you're super proud of. Let's know in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining us on today's episode of the Banter edition on Your Voice, Your Impact. Until we come your way again next month with another of this type of edition, this is the energetic QJ signing out and saying, remember, you have a voice. Use it for positive impact. See you next time.